Tired of serving up the same old tasteless victuals to your family? Step up your grill game with new seasonings from Coy's Southern Eats. Based off famous Southern recipes, our seasonings will add what's been missing to your family's feast. Add it to steak, chicken, shrimp, you name it. Serving up these fixings is going to make you the hero at home. So head on over to CoysSouthernEats.com and order yours today. Come get you some.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Razorback Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson. I'm your host, Jason Pattyson. I want to thank Coy's Southern Eats for all of their support. Also, go and check out all of their spectacular products at CoysSouthernEats.com. You can also find them in select stores in Northwest Arkansas and in Central Arkansas and Amazon as well. And we'll have Dudley jump on here in just a second. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. He's got a little bit of updates. He was at the Razorback baseball scrimmage yesterday, and so that's the reason why we had ended up punting the show to tonight, so he could give us a full in-depth look at what he saw yesterday, and also have some Lady Razorback updates as well. So if you guys want to, throw your comments, your questions, anything you guys have to say. We'll even attack the football side of it as well. I know that yesterday, it was kind of interesting on here with Otis, and we're going to go to a quick short break here from Coy's as we get a little bit of our bearings here with Dudley and his connection really quick.
Tired of serving up the same old tasteless victuals to your family? Step up your grill game with new seasonings from Coy's Southern Eats. Based off famous Southern recipes, our seasonings will add what's been missing to your family's feast. Add it to steak, chicken, shrimp, you name it. Serving up these fixings is going to make you the hero at home. So head on over to CoysSouthernEats.com and order yours today. Come get you some.
Everybody, welcome back. We're going to wait for Dudley to jump on here with us just here in just a couple of minutes here. He's having a little bit issue there on his end, but we're going to get him on here pretty quick. So we had Coach Deifel on a week ago Friday. Y'all go check that out. That was a great conversation that we had with her, and it was a great interview. You guys go out and check it out too. So what I noticed too is that with Coach Deifel and the roster that she's bringing into the 23, or I should say the 24 season, it's going to be pretty loaded from top to bottom. And she's going to have a hard time trying to figure out exactly which starting nine she's really going to be putting out there because of just the level of hitting that she's got from that 1 to 9. So I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for her to figure out exactly who's going to be in the best spot possible. You got a few different positions with Hawk Hammonds. She's going to be moving, pitching, but she also can play the infield, but low moving from catcher into the infield, more of a utility role. She's got a great glove. And, that's one of the things that, Coach Deifel has to her repertoire as far as defense also goes, because she does have a few different players that she can kind of plug and play in different spots there in the infield, because you've got Kylie Halverson at first base. She's coming back for her senior year. And you've got Hannah Gamble come in for her senior year, too, at third base. So your corners are pretty well set. The middle infield is kind of a little bit of a toss-up. You saw Tina, she graduated and moved on. You've got Italia Rijo. Her bat was a little light last year, but her defense was great. So you have to see what she's able to do as far as maybe stepping up her game a little bit. You've also got Spencer Prigge that's also sitting in the wanes, waiting for her shot to get in there too as well. The outfield, I think, is going to be pretty well set with the transfer from Iowa. Name just escapes me. She incredible background there at Iowa too. And you also have the Reagans in the outfield too. So that's one of the things that I really am, I honestly, as a softball fan, am encouraged to see what happens there. So as we wait for Dudley here to get on, so let's kind of talk this out for just a few minutes while Dudley's getting connected here. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are, giving us a grade on what the football team has, how they've performed through the first 5 weeks. I know that everybody's expectations were up here, and then it seems like they're down here after a couple of weeks, and then they came down here, and then back down here. I mean, I don't know if it's the expectations were a little overblown. Myself, what I saw looked encouraging. I guess 10 wins. I was way off base. I was off the reservation. So that was on me. Kind of look at it now. I mean, it looked like a 5-7 team. So I don't know what we'll see there. But if you guys got any questions or comments, and throw those up there, I'll be more than happy to put those on. We'll answer and we'll talk this through. I told Otis yesterday, I felt like that I was going to be either a combination of Judge Judy with Judge Joe Brown mixed in with a little bit of Dr. Phil and a little bit of Dr. Drew, because I feel like some folks were really just kind of needing to vent some frustrations out with how everything was going. And, I'll just, see how everything goes here. But, I'm going to take a quick break here in just a second. See if we can't get Dudley on here, and y'all hold tight for me. Thank you. Everybody, thank you for holding tight with us here. I've got Dudley online now.
Yes.
Man, how you doing?
Doing good. Technology is great and sucks.
That's the truth. Yeah, I've even got a little bit of reverb going into my ears here. That's okay. We're going to fight through it. So yesterday, you were over at the baseball scrimmage. What were your overall thoughts on what you saw yesterday?
Yeah, I got a chance to watch both yesterday and today's surprise scrimmage that we had. They didn't have one Friday as they usually do, and so they snuck one in today. And my biggest takeaways from both of those were Wahawe Aloy hit 2 monster home runs. He's the shortstop that they got from Sacramento State as a portal transfer. Mm-hmm. He clearly is a man of few words. In fact, Coach Van Horn has said he wants him to talk a little bit more. But, when he did talk to us after the scrimmage today, he talked about how he's feeling stronger, that, he wanted to work on his defense, mostly his throwing. He had 19 errors last year at Sacramento State, but was a freshman All-American and somebody that had a lot of potential there, and as well as, having a really good year for them. He's kind of taken a step forward, I think, in that shortstop race from his fellow Hawaiian, Nolan Souza, who I think is going to get a chance to play a lot as well. But one of the big things I think has come out of these last few days is I think Will Edmondson, who has been playing center field on one of the teams along with Ty Wilbsmeyer who transferred in from Missouri. They've got 2 really good center fielders, though. So I think one of them is going to move over to left field. You're going to have Kendall Diggs in right. So the outfield's coming together pretty good. Now they've got some other guys. Ross Lovitz, Jason Jones was out there today. They're trying to find the right guys at third base, the right guys in the outfield. And it was interesting today. They're down a couple of second basemen. Peyton Holt can hit. He ended up playing third today. But you had both Parker Rowland and Reese Robinette playing second base today, which was not Reese Robinette, excuse me, Ben McLaughlin playing second base. Parker Rowland did turn a nice little double play to in the scrimmage, but I'm not sure you want those 2 guys there during the year.
No, you really don't because you've got second base pretty well.
You've got a couple of guys there that that are going to play. Obviously, the incumbent, and then you got Peyton Holt ready to go. You got the Peytons ready to go. Peyton Stovall, Peyton Holt. they'll be ready when it comes around, in the spring and in February when they play in Arlington again. But right now they were trying some people out and just letting it go, and it actually went pretty well.
Oh, excellent. Do they have another scrimmage coming up here pretty soon?
We always know about an hour or two. Oliver Grigg, who's the communications guy, they kind of wait to let him know, and then he lets us know Friday when they do have them. They've been at 2:30, 2:40. Sunday when they've had them at 1:30. We always go into the weekend thinking they're going to have them. So that is the plan this weekend. And I think probably in the next couple of days they'll announce the dates for the Fall World Series, which will be pretty soon. It's interesting. They had all these away football games, and they're going to be back here obviously the 21st. I think you'll see somewhere around in that 17th to the 24th is when they'll have the Fall World Series.
You'd think that with all these away games, like you were saying, that they have an opportunity to be able to bring some more people in to have some of these scrimmages on the weekends.
Yeah, and that's I agree with that, but also there's a lot of people who save their money to make these trips on football weekend. Wouldn't be, and that's why they had such a big crowd at the what they call the Fall Classic, the one they had back in September. So I think they try to time them together so that you can get maximum attendance, maximum viewing. But it's just been this schedule, whether it be for football, baseball, it's not been the most convenient, I would say.
Yeah, most stuff. Yeah, that's very, very true. You're getting an hour notice. I mean, you're basically on that point.
Yes, I am. I'm like a doctor.
So let's switch gears here a little bit. So what's been going on here recently with Lady Razorbacks?
Well, they had another of the Razorbacks Unlimited last weekend. Bree Ellis, who's the transfer from Auburn, continues to be, in the mix. Hannah Gamble was up there this weekend in the points. It's a point individual based system, although they keep score and have two teams. They split it up, but I think they've enjoyed doing that. This upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, they're playing in a tournament at UMKC, although I think it's a lot like ULR. They've now shifted their names to Kansas City. They're the Kansas City Roos in softball. Arkansas is scheduled to play Saturday night at 7 against Kansas City, and then has two games, another one against Kansas City on Sunday morning at 10 and another one at noon. I'm waiting to hear who the opponent is going to be there, but there's several different teams that are up there. None of the heavyweights are really playing each other. The young lady who transferred back to Nebraska, who's so good for Oklahoma in the World Series last year, and her name's escaping me right now, but a great pitcher. She's transferred home to be there with Nebraska. She'll be involved in that tournament. They're having it at a big old complex that Kansas City has there. It should be a really good time for them and give them the opportunity to, again, I know they have a lot of friends and they enjoy being around each other, but I know they like playing other people than just seeing each other's faces.
Yep. I think it was Jordy Ball.
Yes, Jordy, that's it. That's right. 60. I mean, I'm 60 now. That the names are slipping, but yeah, she's fun to watch pitch. She's very good, and that's quite a courageous choice to go back home. But she had done a lot at Oklahoma. Obviously, got the national championships under her belt, and now wanted to go home and try to see what she can can do for them.
One of the things that I noticed on social media really recently is that Bree Ellis has been really just really putting a lot of information out on Twitter. It seems like you really can kind of get to know her. And I think that's one of the great things that she can bring to the table that fans can kind of relate to her a little bit, get to know her a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm going to have a story on her on, I think it's going to be out Friday, either Friday or Saturday. I had a chance to talk with her. She's very open about, why she transferred from Auburn. She just thought she needed a new start. Really loved playing with Arkansas when they were up here playing Arkansas. She came in and it's interesting. She said when she played here her freshman year, she thought, man, I really would like to play here. And if I ever transfer, this would be one of the places I want to go. Obviously, her and Courtney Deiffel, the head coach, got together and they were able to work it out. And she's in here and I mean, they're loaded offensively and have a lot of, great pitchers. They're getting a chance. We're getting a chance to see a lot of those this fall. As I said, they've got they've got the tournament this weekend, and then they'll have 2 more of the Razorbacks Unlimited, and then that'll be a wrap. Much like the baseball is. They'll go into their off-season workout. I think both teams have 45 days that you can work out in. From they call it fall, but from late summer to winter almost, I guess. But it's been fun getting to see a lot of new faces. Obviously, 4 transfers, 4 highly regarded freshmen, and then one that you got back that you didn't think you were going to have back in Ryland Hitchcock. Yeah. And then as baseball, we know it's also littered with portal transfers and freshmen, and it was interesting. I think all 6 pitchers that threw today in a 5-inning abbreviated scrimmage were all freshmen.
One of the things that I noticed, I was looking at Razorback softball Twitter over the weekends. They players that went to Northwest Arkansas Children's Hospital, and some of them made them some cleats that they're going to wear, I think, in the next couple of scrimmages. And one of the things that I noticed was that Hannah Gamble looks a little bit more fitter from when we saw her last fall or spring to now. I wonder if that's some of the transformation that she's done over the summer.
I will say this, that I think she is determined to have a great senior season. The fact that she got the opportunity to go play for the USA team this summer and also played with basically an AAU team of great college players and played in the Canada Cup. I think she got her passion and her she's having fun again. And, it showed in her first at bat in Razorbacks Unlimited when she ripped one off the wall. She's determined to have a good year. I had a story about her, I think, last week where she talked about, they really have the opportunity to really make a run at this thing. They all want to go to Oklahoma City. They all want to take, their new assistant coach, DJ Grasso, whose mom spends all her time there in the postseason. They certainly have the potential. I wouldn't sit here and say they're going to. Courtney, as you know, Coach Stoffel, did say on our YouTube last week that it's coming. I thought she said it was going to come this year, but just joking a little bit with her. But they certainly are an elite program. And when you're in the SEC and you're one of the best in the SEC, then you have the opportunity to get to OKC and really do something. And my God, here comes Oklahoma and Texas next year to add to a conference. And just pick a sport. I mean, we're talking about softball and baseball. Just pick a sport. This conference is just an out and out beast.
It really is. So are there any updates with the Lady Razorback basketball team coach papers? I know that season's going to be coming up next. I think 5 weeks. I do believe 6 weeks.
Yeah, and they've got a couple of exhibition games. You had the opportunity to go watch them practice. I believe it was last Tuesday. Coach Neighbors very excited about his team. They're going to throw the press on teams this year. They believe they have enough depth, and it sure appears so that your people that have had to play 40 minutes or 38 minutes are not going to have to do that. There's depth all over the place. There's quality players. There's a lot of versatility in positions. He feels he's got a big smile on his face for a reason, and I think he's gone really hard at trying to develop a different mentality and a different communication. He talked about that, communicating with his players, but also the way the coaches, the head coach and assistant coaches communicate in the office, making sure they're being positive sometimes, in any sport or just in life in general. If you're not getting to where you wanted to go, and that was the NCAA tournament, you kind of examine everything. And I think some of their intercommunications, which doesn't mean they were being mean to each other. It just means that maybe they weren't as positive as they could have been. And I think they're really working on that and want that to be, one of the things that they really are able to get, on the same page as they want the players to be on the same page.
So I know that season's coming up. Do you think this team could be more from the SEC that some teams might overlook, and that they might be able to jump up and snag a couple of teams that you didn't think they beat?
Well, I do think they have a lot more talent. I think they're capable of that. It would be, I think, foolish for me to sit here and say they're definitely going to the NCAA tournament, although I think there's such a favorable opportunity for that. Again, we talked about the strength of the league. The SEC basketball is the same way. You got to get over a bunch of people, including LSU and a lot. But I think that they feel really good about their goal getting into the NCAA tournament this year. And they certainly, to me, appear to have a lot more potential than they did last year. And that's strange to say when you had one of the conference's best player transferred to Mississippi State. But boy, they really loaded up, and were able to, and I was about to say the transfer portal, but they're the one team that didn't load up on the transfer portal. They felt good about what they had. They obviously had the freshman coming in, Sasha Goforth, you got back, and she's such a big piece. I just think that and really Miriam Dowda looks as healthy as she's been since her senior year in high school at Bentonville. And I think she's poised to have a big year as well. So there's a lot of positivity around the program. There should be. Now you just got to go out and take care of it on the court. I do know that when they had their first practice in Fayetteville, they really viewed it as their 22nd practice because they were able to have 10 on campus and then obviously practice while they're traveling, playing games, and were able to just get a bond going. And so they're much further along this year than they were at this point last year.
One of the things that you did note was that Sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought, man. I'm not going to say I promise it's not A. And one of the things that I understand is that do you think this can be more guard heavy this year than post player?
Oh, I think there's a lot more versatility outside in that regard. He's got 4 guards that he thinks can be interchangeable. The older guards or the more experienced guards, I guess maybe I should say, are going to be able to lead those the freshmen and the junior college transfer. They've got 4 they feel really good about. You get on the wings, you've got so many different players, Sailor, Sasha, different ones that can just make an impact. And then, you've got your inside for so he looks pretty balanced and looks pretty multi positionality. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you know what I'm saying. They got a lot of players who can play a lot of different positions. I'll use more words than one to try to describe it. But again, I think they feel really good. They feel really good. Obviously, last year when we were 13, 14, he did say, and one thing I totally agree with him, if you look at this schedule, they have UCLA coming here, Florida State, they're playing in the ACC, SEC Challenge.
Those are big names.
Yeah. You've got a lot of other teams on the schedule, including playing the 4 in-state schools that they have been playing and going to Arkansas State. They're going to know a lot about themselves either by the 1st of December or the middle of December. And he made a point, Coach Neighbors made a point in saying that I don't think we'll be undefeated, but if we are undefeated against this schedule, then we should probably be ranked 4th or 5th in the country. And I think that's that's a solid assessment. Number one, he's saying he doesn't think they're going to be they're going to think they're going to be undefeated, but if they are, you better recognize.
Most definitely. One of the things that I was actually thinking about was that whenever Coach Neighbors said that what we have is what we need, and that's all we need, not going into the portal, I think that was one of the big things saying that he really felt comfortable with the team that he has coming back, and he doesn't really need to add any more pieces.
Yeah, and one of the big things there is Michaela, deciding to come back, and them I really didn't think they were going to get her, but she decided to use that extra year, and they really felt. And again, with Sasha coming back, it was like adding in 2 great players from the portal. They just happen to have been around here before. Obviously, everybody knows that Sasha took the year off last year, got herself in great position, I think, mentally and physically to have a big year. And we saw just from the aspects that we saw in the trip over there to Europe, she had some great games and was really in a position to where I think she's going to be a big pickup this year, even though it's a roundabout way you're picking her.
Yeah, definitely. So with you're talking about the positionless basketball that Coach Neighbors was kind of alluding to a little bit as well. Do you think that Eric Musselman is kind of giving him a little bit of pointers on how to maybe manage and manipulate that with it a little bit on the floor?
I wouldn't dare say that. I mean, I think that it's become a bigger deal, around college basketball. I think, Coach Musselman is one of forefront guys in there. I do think that everybody's trying to get to that. So I'm sure that, they're in the same building a lot. I'm sure they have talks, and I'm sure that they have somewhat of the same, personality. It sounds like that, Coach Neighbors wants to have a little 40 minutes of hell, with his defense this year. It would be if you're a coach on campus, whether it's the football coach going through a tough time, baseball coach season didn't end the way it wanted to, your women's basketball coach, I think they have a good group. They can rely on each other and talk to each other and be a sounding board. So I think that's a possibility. But I think it's more of a movement in college basketball now on the women's side, just as it was on the men's side, to move to a positionless type thing. And, I do think that the fact that Arkansas, to me, you may not look inside and see this, 3, 6, 5 girls, but what you do, you're going to be about as big as anybody else, if not longer, lengthwise on the perimeter than anybody else. And there's a lot to be said. And I haven't even mentioned Jersey Wolfenberger, who's going to be, I mean, again, you talk about a multi-positional player. She's going to be the master of ceremonies there in terms of, coming out in several different places and doing several different things. Again, get a chance to watch them practice. Just very impressed.
I'd say, she's very transitional, maybe from a 2 to a 5. And that really gives Neighbors a lot of options.
Yeah, I remember when I was actually taller than her. I believe that was the 8th grade when I first saw her play, and she certainly has sprouted up way over the top of me now, and it seems like she's growing, a couple of inches each year. I mean, she's a good solid 6'5", maybe 6'6" now. I mean, if you're just going to judge it by standing next to each other, which is what I usually do instead of using a tape measure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Dudley, I'm going to get you out of here, man. Go have a great evening, and we'll be cracking back at this at 4:30 this coming Sunday.
Sounds good, man.
All right, forever, Dudley Dawson. I'm your host, Jason Pattyson. Thank you all for joining us today on the Razorback Report with Dudley Dawson. Have a great night.